So, contrary to popular belief, Yield Camp is a mental health organization first and foremost, and we specialize in environmental stewardship. I call it environmental with a capital M because we take the best practices of environmental conservation and volunteer work, extract wellness protocols, life lessons that we can then apply holistically. So I wanted to use this as an example. As an example. This is English ivy. You've seen it everywhere. It's considered a weed. It's considered a problem. Some people purchase it intentionally and use it as ground cover in their yards, but it's all through the landscape causing all kind of environmental issues. This was intentionally brought to America in the early 1700s. Likewise, most of the things that grow in your yard that you spray and consider weeds, i.e. dandelions, these were brought here in the early 1700s also. Why? Because the settlers and explorers didn't know what they were going to find when they got to the new land, so they brought things with them that would sustain them. And so I bring that up because one of the things that we teach is to hold on to the things that you learned in the beginning of a new journey. Often, like here in this country, as we started to thrive, we no longer had need for these types of superfoods, and so we forgot about them. And then they turned into weeds, problems, and they grow in the landscape, causing all kind of devastation. They're also now unsightly and no longer desirable. But often in the beginning of getting sober, in the beginning of cleaning up credit, in the beginning of changing character, there are things that we learn that help us to get to where we're going. But then when we feel like we've arrived, we forget those things that we learned in the beginning. The Bible says to restore unto me the joy of my salvation. Relationships will say what it takes to get them is what it takes to keep them. But it's that phenomena, that idea, that thing that happens that I want to encourage us to protect ourselves against. When you learn something valuable and it helps you in the start of your process, don't forget it. Don't let it turn into weeds in your landscape. Don't let it be something that is now a nuisance. If it was good enough to get you there, it's good enough to keep you there. That's why, as you'll start to see a lot of different influencers talk about, oh, this herb is good for this, and this quote unquote weed is good for that. There's no weeds in nature. They all have a purpose. But when we move on, when we feel like we no longer need our basics, when we start to thrive, we often forget about the things that got us to where we are. So I just wanted to encourage us, hold on to the things you learned in the beginning, because if it's good enough to get you there, it's good enough to keep you there. And I'll see you next time.